السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده سبحانه ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله تعالى من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد، وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وما قل وكفى خير مما كثر وألهى، وإنما توعدون لآت وما أنتم بمعجزين. All the praise due to Allah. We praise Him and we seek His assistance and guidance and forgiveness. Whomsoever Allah guides, there is no one could misguide, and whomsoever Allah misguides, there is no one could guide. And I testify that there is no God but Allah, and I further testify that Muhammad is His servant and messenger. We ask you, O Allah, to send your peace and your blessing upon the messenger, as well as his household and companions, like He sent upon Prophet Abraham and his household and companions. To proceed, dear brothers and sisters, there is no doubt that believing in the Akhirah, the Hereafter, the Day of Judgment, the Judgment Day, whichever, or the Last Day, whichever name you want to call it, it has many names in the Quran and the Sunnah, and it has also different names in other religious traditions. The last day or the Day of Judgment. Believing in this day is a must, is a pillar of our faith, the lack of which will not make a person Muslim anymore. Even if the person believes in Allah, believes in Allah, that Allah is the provider, believes that Allah is the sustainer, the protector, the creator, but he does not believe in the hereafter, that's entirely will take the person out of the border of Islam. Because the people of Quraysh, during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they believed that Allah was their creator. They believed that Allah was their provider. They believed that Allah was their protector. وَلَئِنْ سَأَلْتَهُمْ مَنْ خَلَقَهُمْ لَيَقُولُنَّ اللَّهُ. If you were to ask them who created you, they would say Allah. قُلْ مَنْ يَرْزُقكُم مِّنَ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ أَمَّنْ يَمْلِكُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَمَنْ يُخْرِجُ الْحَيَّ مِنَ الْمَيِّتِ وَيُخْرِجُ الْمَيِّتَ مِنَ الْحَيِّ وَمَنْ يُدَبِّرُ الْأَمْرَ فَسَيَقُولُونَ اللَّهُ. Tell them or ask them, who provides to you, who provides for you all day and all night? Who provides you with eyesight and ears and hearing? Who brings the life out of death and the dead out of life? And who ordains all the affairs? They will answer, Allah. So what was the problem? Why were they not considered believers? Because they reject the hereafter. وَقَالُوا إِذَا كُنَّا تُرَابًا وَآبَاؤُنَا أَإِنَّا لَمُخْرَجُونَ. After we going to be dust in the soil, are we going to be resurrected again? No way. أَوَآبَاؤُنَا الْأَوَّلُونَ. Also our fathers, our forefathers, it seemed too far from their imagination and they did not believe in that, and that's why they were not considered believers. Although they believe in Allah, they believe in the angels, but they did not believe in the hereafter. Not only not believing in the hereafter, but doubting the hereafter. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala requires, or Islam, the religion that requires the person has certainty. Certainty in the hereafter. Allah Azza wa Jalla describes the believers, the faithful believers, in one of the first verses in the book of Allah when you open the Quran, Surah Al-Fatiha, the opening, and then move over to the next surah, Surah Al-Baqarah. وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. Allah describes the believers by saying they are certain of the occurrence of the hereafter. They are certain, there's no doubt about it. And doubting the hereafter, and when I say doubting the hereafter, it doesn't mean the whispers, that sometimes the whispers come to you and you cannot control them. I'm not talking about whispers, I'm talking about, Allah, it might happen, it might not happen. It's a flip a coin, flipping of a coin. If it happens, I'll be okay. If it doesn't happen, I'll be okay. This is doubting the hereafter. This is doubting the hereafter. One time, I heard someone say, we're going to pray. Allah said, okay, I'm going to go to pray with you. Allah, if you were right, I'm okay. If you're not right, I'm wasting some time. This is doubting the hereafter. You have to have certainty. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Kahf, وَمَا أَظُنُّ السَّاعَةَ قَائِمَةً. The story of the owner of the two gardens and his friend, his companion. He was trying to convince his companion with something, and he said to him, وَمَا أَظُنُّ السَّاعَةَ قَائِمَةً. I do not think the hour meaning the day of judgment, I do not think that the day of judgment will take place. And even if it does take place, even if it takes place, I think I'll be in a better position than where I am now. So he's doubting. It might or it might not. This is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described that. Have you disbelieved in the one who created you? So this is described in the Quran as a disbelief. So doubting the hereafter or not believing the hereafter is a major violation of the Islamic belief. Is a major violation of the Islamic belief. Believing the hereafter, having certainty in the hereafter is required. And when the person says, okay, alhamdulillah, I'm a believer in the hereafter. I believe that Allah will resurrect us. I believe that Allah will hold us accountable on one day. Inshallah, we're all on the same page with that. And that when the test will come. Because you cannot just say something by tongue, and Allah will not put you into the test. The test is what determines you believe or you don't believe. أَحَسِبَ النَّاسُ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. Do you think you'll be left alone when you just simply say, I believe, and you will not be tested? No. وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّا الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ فَلَا يَعْلَمَنَّ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ صَدَقُوا وَلَا يَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. And surely you have tested those before you, so Allah will make evident who was truthful and make evident who was not. So the reason of the test is to test to see if you believe in the hereafter or not. If you are tested and you have strong faith in the hereafter, you will inshallah surely pass the test. The reason why the shaitan is released at us, shaitan, the devil, Iblis, Allah released him. Allah gave him permission. Allah gave him the authority to be alive and to mislead. Gave him the power to do that. The reason why he was given this authority, the reason why he was released, he was given this power, is to test the people if they believe in the hereafter or not. Someone say, Allah, why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create the shaitan? Why did Allah, if Allah does not like evil, why did he create the shaitan? Why did he not block him or vanish him? No. He released him to see if you're going to listen to his whisper or reject it. Huh? He released him to see, as Allah says in the Quran, وَمَا كَانَ لَهُ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنْ سُلْطَانٍ إِلَّا لِنَعْلَمَ مَنْ يُؤْمِنُ بِالْآخِرَةِ مِمَّنْ هُوَ مِنْهَا فِي الشَّكِّ. He does not have an authority over us, but to make evident, to make sure who believes in hereafter and who has doubts of it. Doubts about the hereafter. This is why the shaitan was released on us. This is why the test is given to us. It's all about believing in the hereafter. Imagine for a moment, dear brothers and sisters, imagine for a moment, if there is no hereafter. This is just hypothetically for the sake of argument. Let's imagine there is no day of judgment. Everyone dies and that's it. You become dust, your body decomposed in the soil and it's all over. Can we imagine? Are we allowed to imagine that? Yes, we are. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of arguments, can let you imagine things. Allah said in the Quran, قُلْ لَوْ كَانَ فِيهِمَا آلِهَةٌ إِلَّا اللَّهَ لَفَسَدَتًا. If there were more gods beside Allah, then the whole world will be. There are no gods. But Allah will go, take us in the arguments, for the sake of arguments. If there is no hereafter, give your imagination, a green light a little bit. What would happen? You know what will happen? Then this world will be ruled by the law of jungle. Then this world will be for whoever is stronger, whoever is smarter. Then the oppressor will get away with what he has done. And the oppressed will not get his right back at all. That's it. Then if someone is wronged, killed, murdered, either you or a loved one or a group of people, that's it. Whoever did that to them, there's no hereafter. When he dies, that's it. It's all done. It's all over. The oppressor will get away with that. No one will hold him accountable. Don't tell me there are laws. There are laws in every state, in every country in the world. But the man-made law, the law that's put by people, is defective, is incomplete, is not perfect. I challenge you to find any law has not been amended by another law. Open up any book of law. Go to the library, the section of law, and see any law. Open up. The law of year number 1957, amended by another section of the law of 1970. Why? Because the law is defect. There are deficiencies in the law. And people can get around that, can take an advantage of this deficiency. There are holes in the law that people can take an advantage of. I think lawyers will know this better than me. There are holes in the law. There's ambiguity. Things that are unclear. There's a gray area people can take an advantage of. There are things, if you're smart, I know someone who's a billionaire. I think some of you know him as well. He never paid taxes in his life. And when he was asked why, he said, because I'm too smart. Yes, he can play around the law. Although he's a billionaire, but he never paid taxes because he knows how to handle the law. He knows how to handle the law. Someone may be too powerful. The law will not be able to touch him. He can change the law. He can change the law to serve that he will not be approached. He will be untouchable. But that doesn't work if there is a hereafter. The law of Allah, and I'm talking about the hereafter. I'm not talking about the dunya law. Talking about the hereafter, the day of judgment, the last day. You cannot get around the law of Allah on that day. You do not need witnesses. Here, if you do something and no one witnessed that, that's it. It's all gone. No witnesses. On that day, guess who's going to witness against you? Your skin, your eyes, your tongue, your ears. They will speak up against you. There will be a book that will be presented before you. They will say, woe to us. What is up with this book? It does not leave a single detail except it records it. You know, back in the day, the phone bills used to be 1957, you spoke for 3 minutes and 3 seconds. This is it. This is what you're going to see. Every day. 101.3 seconds, you did this. Oh, you did this. Even if you have all the internal talks that you have. Everything. And the day is long. No one will rush Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The day is long. It's the last day. There is no day after. Allah called it in the Quran, Yawmul Aqim. Infertile. Aqim, literally translated as what? Infertile. Infertile. The person is infertile means he does not produce any children. Allah called it as such because there is no day. There are no days after. It's the last day. It's the last. There are no days after. So it will take its time. Every single second of your life will be. You will see it. Mali hada kitab. What is up with this book? This is the day of judgment. Now the oppressor will not be able to get away with what you have done. Now the oppressed will be so happy. Now it's a time that Allah will give me back what I have lost. It's a time when I'm going to see my oppressor being punished in front of my eyes. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that, وَيَشْفِ صُدُورَ قَوْمِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, He will heal the hearts of the believers. He will heal their hearts when you see this. Even the Prophet ﷺ says on that day, even imagine that the unhorned ram, 2 rams, one of them hit the other one, butted the other one. One horned one butted the unhorned one. The unhorned one will be given her rights by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of judgment. Down to this. Even animals will be getting back their rights on the day of judgment. So no one can get away with anything. So this is the day that whenever you go through any difficulties in this world, remind yourself of this day. And if you ever violate any of the rules of Allah Azza wa Jal, remind yourself of this day. Sometimes you may not see anyone around you. Sometimes you can do things that no one can hold you accountable for. Sometimes you have this chance. But if you know that this day is coming, if you have faith in this day, then this is the only thing that will stop you. This is the only thing that will have you hit the brake. No. I know that Allah is watching over me, and I don't want to be punished on that day. The only thing that may stop a young man, a young person, a youth, from falling into anything haram is when he knows that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching over him. No one can stop, especially if he's living on his own, away from his parents, or away from his family, away. Especially if he's a young person. A young person does not worry about his reputation. There is no reputation. He's a young person. He's a teenager. It's normal in the custom of the community that he may do something like this. As opposed to someone, for example, like a grown-up or a married person, he may be afraid of doing that because if he's exposed, he's going to be in trouble. But if he's exposed, if that young man exposed, it's okay. And sometimes actually people are so honored to do that. They may declare it. But the only thing that will stop him is when he knows that there will be a hereafter. The only thing that will stop the person from wronging others, taking their money, or taking their rights, or is when you know that there is a hereafter. The only balance in this world, because there is a hereafter. If there is no hereafter, then it will be like a jungle. The strong eats the weak. The smart taking advantage of those who are less smart. It will be like this. if there is no hereafter. But alhamdulillah, there is an akhirah. There is a day of judgment that we must believe in it. That any time we go through a difficult or rough time, we remind ourselves with it. Anytime we do something good, even if we will not pay back for this goodness that we have done, even if we're not compensated for the good, even if you do something good to your friend, to your family, to your neighbor, and he met this with rejection, or he did not even appreciate what you have done for him or her, you know that Allah will reward you for that, because there is a day of judgment. You will be rewarded for that. When you help your brother or your sister, you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, if you relieve a hardship of your Muslim brother, Allah will relieve one of the hardship of the day of judgment for you. This will help, will move you, push you to help, even if you know that that person will not be able to help you back. But you know that, you do that because you believe in the day of judgment. That will give you the motivation. When you pay the sadaqah, knowing the reward that Allah, how Allah shades the person under His sadaqah on the day of judgment. How the person can be shaded under the shade of Allah if you do it in secret, so much so that your left hand will not know what the right hand, how much the right hand has paid. This is all because of the day of judgment. Every goodness in this world, because of the day of judgment. And every evil in this world, because of the lack of believing in the day of judgment. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه. أما بعد. The only thing that makes the oppressor, go to the extreme, extravagantly oppress people, and make the tyrannic figures do their chaos, their bloodshed, is because they don't believe that someone will hold them accountable. Why did Fir'aun did what he did? Allah said to us in the Quran, وَاسْتَكْبَرَ هُوَ وَجُنُودُهُ فِي الْأَرْضِ بِغَيْرِ الْحَقِّ وَظَنُّوا أَنَّهُمْ إِلَيْنَا لَا يُرْجَعُونَ. He was arrogant along with his soldiers in the land, because they thought that he would not be returned to us. That's the only reason why they did that. It's the only reason why they did this. So, dear brother and sister, on the day of judgment, there will be two directions, two destinies: only paradise or hellfire. That's it. It will end up this way. You're either here or there. So think of the paradise. Make the paradise in your mind every time you live, every minute you live. Think of the paradise. It will help you go through the difficulties. It will help you overcome stress. It will help you, go through situations. It will help you deal with people. When you know, inshallah, if I go through this, because I seek the paradise. This is not escaping reality, dear brothers and sisters. This is not escaping reality. This is the utmost reality. Living your life, looking ahead at the paradise, this is the utmost reality. And some people are under the impression that no one goes to the paradise unless he is or she is going a long way of trials and tribulations, and then he will live a miserable life, and that's the only path to the paradise. No, that's not true. Yes, everyone is tested, but the test varies from one person to another person. And the test does not have to be a great calamity. It could be anything that makes you discomfort. The paradise is easy, brother. Allah makes it easy for whomever Allah wants to make it easy for. Look at the Prophet ﷺ when he says, حُرِّمَتُ النَّارُ عَلَى كُلٍّ قَرِيبٌ هَيِّنٌ لَيِّنٌ سَهْلٌ. The hellfire is forbidden to touch any person who is approachable, easygoing, lenient, and has some tenderness. Look at this. Is that hard? Look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet ﷺ says in this hadith in Sahih Muslim. This hadith in Sahih Muslim. The Prophet ﷺ said, إِذَا صَلَّتُ الْمَرْأَةُ خَمْسَهَا وَصَامَتْ شَهْرَهَا وَحَفَظَتْ فَرْجَهَا وَطَاعَتْ زَوْجَهَا قِيلَ لَا تَدْخُلِ الْجَنَّةَ مِنْ أَيِّ أَبْوَابِ الْجَنَّةِ تَشَاءِ. If the woman, if the sister, and this hadith will solve almost 100% of all the marital problems. For the sister, if the woman prays her 5 times a day and fasts her month meaning the month of Ramadan, and protect her honor, her chastity, and obey her husband, maybe this is the most difficult one. It will be said to her, here's the paradise, you enter from whichever door you want. How difficult is that? Wallah, if the sisters look at this hadith, anytime she has a marital problem, anytime she has arguments, wallah, she can tell her husband, okay, I'm obeying, I'm not listening to you, not because of you, because I want to go to the paradise. Not because of you, because of Allah. Imagine how many problems will be overcome if that's the mentality. But people don't think this way. Look how easy the paradise is when the Prophet ﷺ, this hadith in Al-Bukhari, said to Bilal, Bilal. And by the way, dear brothers and sisters, when the Prophet ﷺ says, there's a hadith that the Prophet ﷺ named 10 people that they will be in the paradise. Some people are under the impression that those are the only 10 who will be in the paradise. That's it. It's only 10 people in the paradise. No. Those 10 people are mentioned because they are mentioned in one hadith. Other than that, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned many names who will be in the paradise outside those 10. There are people outside those 10, the 10 list are mentioned also that they're going to be around. The Prophet ﷺ said, for example, Hassan or Hussein Sayyida Shabab Ahl al-Jannah. Hassan and his grandson are the masters of the youth of the paradise. Someone's name Ukasha, an ordinary companion. His name is Ukasha. The Prophet ﷺ gave him the glad tidings of the paradise. At one time they were sitting down, the Prophet ﷺ said, upon you now will enter a man who will be in the paradise. And someone entered. He was a stranger. A lot of people the Prophet ﷺ has given the glad, and a lot of actions. The Prophet ﷺ said, if you do these actions, you will be in the paradise. Protect whatever between your jawbones and thigh bones, your tongue and your private part. Protect these two, I can guarantee you paradise. Protect these two things, I guarantee you paradise. For example, a man entered the paradise because he saw a branch of a tree in the middle of the road, and he said, I'm going to move it aside so as to not can come in the people's way. And the Prophet said he was turning upside down. He was enjoying the paradise. Bilal radiallahu anhu, the mu'adhin of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One time the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, come here Bilal, tell me, what have you done? I've seen you, I heard the noise of your slippers in the paradise. What have you done? So I can hear you in the paradise doing that. Come here, what did he do? Tell me. Bilal said, I don't recall doing anything big. All I know that is something that I do personally, that anytime I make wudu, I do what? I pray to Rabbah. That's it. That's the most difficult thing that I do. Anytime I use I'm talking about praying outside the 5 prayers. Anytime I make wudu, I use the bathroom, I make wudu, might as well I pray 2 rak'at with this wudu. I don't recall I've done anything big. Look how easy that is. Teach your children, brother, because this is the only way you're going to combat. Every time you encounter a problem, you said, oh, I don't want to live anymore. The life is not fair. I want to take my life. No. Put the paradise and likewise the hellfire, both of them, ahead of you. And life would be a lot easier. Because if the paradise and hellfire are not there, as we mentioned, then this whole world will be different, of different dynamics. If they're not there. But they are there. They are there. When you're talking to someone who before, an atheist person, they said, what if after you do this, you don't find the hellfire or the paradise as real? Well, I said, I'm not going to be more shocked than you when you find them real. But what if you find them real? They are there. We believe that they are there. So put them in front of you all the time. It will help you overcome a lot of difficulties, a lot of mental problems, a lot of hurdles, a lot of things that you will find difficult. You know, okay, I'm going to be patient because I want to be in the paradise. And I'm not going to do this because I don't want to be in the hellfire. So put that ahead of you and teach your children this way. Teach yourselves and your children this way. So that inshallah we will be, inshallah, in a better condition. Internally, psychologically, we'll be in a better condition, inshallah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us and to give us what's best for us in this world and what's best for us in the hereafter, and to safeguard us from the punishment of the hellfire. Dear brothers and sisters, before, and we're going to pray Asr inshallah after we finish Jumu'ah. Asr is 2 o'clock, so we have time, so we're going to pray Asr inshallah after Jumu'ah. There are announcements tonight inshallah. The influx of the Afghan refugees are going on. Many families arrived in the past week. Yesterday almost 10 to 15 people arrived. Tomorrow another 15 people will arrive. And tonight we will be visited by one of the program managers of the Vermont Refugee Resettlement Program. She will come here at 8 p.m. at the time when we have the halaqah. But she asked if she can come. She can show us around. She's going to be using the big screen, present to us their strategies, their policies in dealing with the refugees, what they offer to them, and what we can do to help. That will be tonight at 8 p.m. inshallah. So if you're interested, a lot of people ask questions. We don't know a lot, but tonight inshallah, if you're interested, you can come inshallah. You're going to meet with her. She's going to come here to the mosque, and she's going to present to us what she has to offer, what the program, or what she's working for, the place she's working for has to offer, and we're going to have that tonight inshallah. Light snacks will be served tonight inshallah. And tomorrow there is a sister who needs a help of 2 or 3 brothers. She wants to move her stuff from her apartment somewhere else. She is a sister, cannot hold anything heavy. She needs someone to help her around. Please connect with me if you're interested to go and help inshallah. There is no changes to the prayer time, and the monthly potluck dinner for this month will be on Thursday, the 25th, not Saturday. It will be on Thursday, the 25th, instead of Saturday. Inshallah, I'll send out the email with all these details. Inshallah. قوموا إلى صلاتكم ورحمة الله. إن صلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي والله يعلم ما تصنعون. اللهم صل.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. الذين آتيناهم الكتاب يعرفونه كما يعرفون أبناءهم وإن فريقا منهم ليكتمون الحق وهم يعلمون الحق من ربك فلا تكونن من الممترين. الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ولكل فيها فاستبقوا الخيرات أينما تكونوا يأتي بكم الله جميعا إن الله على كل شيء قدير. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. All right, as we mentioned, inshallah, we're going to pray Asr right on time. The adhan is called. We're going to pray immediately. We're not going to wait for a few minutes after the adhan is called. 2:01. We pray Asr 2:01, inshallah, if you want to stick around.
I know. That's not don't you said that's a nationality. I know, but that's not a national. That's a nationality. No, it's not. It's that's what she you know misleading. It's okay. I know I have a lake conversation. I'm in English. It's Arabic. In English. لا أمريكي. لا أمريكي.